York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.
What's going on? This is Jay Ellis from the Nick of Time Show. Here giving you that Knicks talk just in the nick of time. And guess what, guys? Mikal Bridges has just been traded to the New York Knicks. That's right, shout out to Leon Rose because he has completed the Infinity Stones. And we're gonna talk all about it, man. There was a lot of chatter. I saw some people panicking. Even me, man, people was thinking, man, who are we going to trade for? Are we going to go after Paul George? Mikal Bridges will never come to New York because what? The Knicks and the Nets have not completed the trade since '83. But guess what? The Don, as my man Raw likes to call him, Leon Rose, pulled off a miracle and was so good that they convinced Mikal Bridges to force his way to New York. Woo! And we're gonna talk about it, man. I'm excited. So shout out to you guys in the chat. There was some technical difficulties. Unfortunately, couldn't have my brother and my KOT fam in here to talk about it. So I'm gonna just have to break down the trade myself and celebrate with you Knicks fans about this trade, man. Mikal Bridges to the Knicks. It's crazy. It's crazy because nobody saw it coming. Real G's move in silence like lasagna. This was all silent. Nobody saw this coming. But you got to give a big shout out to Mikal Bridges himself, because Mikal, he did what Donovan Mitchell was not able to do. Force his way to New York. And I'm going to read something. From Ian Begley. He says Mikal Bridges' deal came together quickly after Bridges informed the Nets that he wanted to be a Knicks. Bridges was prepared to sign with NYK. And his side was prepared to use the leverage to keep other teams from trading for him, per SNY sources. So Mikal Bridges did his thing. He forced his way to New York. And listen, man, I know you guys saw the pick haul. that the Knicks had to give up, according to Adrian Wojnarowski. The Brooklyn Nets have agreed in principle on a trade to send Mikal Bridges to the New York Knicks for Bojan Bogdanovic, 4 unprotected picks, first-round picks, a protected first-round pick via the Bucks, an unprotected pick swap, and the second-rounder, sources tell ESPN. And I know some of you guys, oh, that's a lot of picks. Oh, that's a... Man, F those picks. We got Mikal Bridges. We got wings now, man. And as soon as OG Anunoby comes back, we're going to have some wings for real. The Knicks have officially loaded up to really compete with the Boston Celtics. And now we got wings coming off the bench, elite defense starting, and we're looking nice. We're looking really nice. So shout out to you guys and celebrate Knicks Nation, because we're looking like a team that can really push for the defense. And I was a guy who was thinking about maybe having Paul George here, because I didn't think that we can even pull off a Mikal Bridges trade. But Leon Rose is so dope because he was able to pull off 2 trades back to back that nobody saw coming. He traded for OG Anunoby as the Toronto Raptors were suing, as the Knicks were suing the Toronto Raptors. Crazy. And I myself didn't think he'd be able to do that done. Then we actually traded with our arch rivals and convinced them to give us their prized possession. They were talking all this smack. They didn't even want to trade Mikal Bridges to the Houston Rockets, and the Houston Rockets want to give them those picks back. So for us to finally have Mikal Bridges here, for us to actually get that off is crazy. Because I remember last season, we were talking about the perfect scenario. We were talking about that perfect scenario of having Mikal Bridges on New York Knicks. And I didn't think it was possible, man. I did not think it. I still can't believe it. I'm still pinching myself. To tell you the truth, guys, I was on my way to uploading a stream that we did yesterday, a recording we did yesterday. It was all loaded up. I was about to hit send, and then the Woj bomb goes off, and Mikal Bridges is a New York Knick. Crazy. The Villanova set is completed. I still can't believe it. And now he gives us so many options. Of course, OG Anunoby has to come back. And Ian Begley has reported that the Knicks do feel extremely confident that they can indeed bring OG Anunoby back to the Knicks, even though Mikal Bridges is here. So plans have not changed on that regard. Now, it might take a lot of money to bring OG Anunoby here because he has a lot of suitors. We already say the 76ers might try to offer him a lot of money because they have money to spend. But the Knicks are still the favorites to land OG and Anunoby. So for all intents and purposes, our starting five is Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Julius Randle, and maybe not Hartenstein, because there's a possibility we lose him. And another interesting part of this whole thing is Ian Begley, after being extremely confident for a while that Hartenstein would sign back with the Knicks, he flipped the script today out of nowhere. And he said this, free agent center Isaiah Hartenstein is expected to be a top target for several opposing teams in free agency. With the offers that Hartenstein is expected to command on open market, it's becoming increasingly unlikely that the New York Knicks will be able to retain Hartenstein, per SNY sources. So for us, that means we'll end up having to probably look for another center, whether it be a starting center or a backup. But we will end up be looking for another center. But right now, I just want to celebrate Mikal Bridges, because what Mikal Bridges does for this team is just, he suits us up so much more defensively. It's ridiculous. We traded Bojan Bogdanovic. We did not give up any players. So we keep McBride, we keep Mitch, and we bolster our defense and our three-point shooting and increase our depth. And here's the thing. OG Anunoby, as much as I love the guy, he's one of the best defensive wings in the league. He can play defense. He hits the three. He's extremely switchable. Also, the knock on OG is he's extremely injury prone. Mikal Bridges is a warrior. This man does not get hurt. He does not get hurt. So, I know people and us, we were talking about the possibility of Paul George and what that would look like next to OG Anunoby having two big wings, more switchable, and it can take on other guys and smother them defensively. And Paul George, for all intents and purposes, was probably a perfect fit for New York if he was a few years younger and less injury prone. But the fact that we got Mikal Bridges here, who fits our timeline, who fits the timeline of our roster, that means that championship run is a lot longer. If we got Paul George here, that championship run might have been 2 or 3 years, maybe. It would have been an intense run, but that would have been our window. With Mikal Bridges here, being a 6'7" guy, who can shoot the three and play defense and hit that corner three and finish in transition, that window can be 6-7 years. These guys want to stay together for long term. I can see these guys, the Villanova crew of Josh Hart and DiVincenzo, all kind of syncing up how they want to re-up with the Knicks. I can see us keeping this squad together for a long time. At least that Nova crew. Hopefully we get to keep Randall and those guys as well, because I still believe that we were knocking on the door of a championship last year. We're definitely contenders, but Mikal Bridges makes us for real contenders. For real contenders, championship contenders. If OG goes down this year versus the Pacers, we can put Mikal in there and we won't miss a beat. It's a whole different animal than having Precious Achiuwa in there. Also, we kind of saw he flashed some playmaking when he's with the Nets. It'll be a lot easier to do that against second units and not have him be the guy, because I know he had a down year last year, but that was all because he was the guy. Being with the Knicks, he could be the third, fourth option sometimes. He could just be running the bench sometimes. He'll be much more effective, maybe leading the second unit with Julius Randle and then getting some reps that way creating than what he was doing over there in Brooklyn. So to me, this is a home run deal. This is a perfect situation for the Knicks, a perfect situation for Mikal Bridges, and it rights our wrong, guys. It rights our wrongs, because once upon a time, the Knicks passed on Mikal Bridges and got Kevin Knox. It was a hard knock life for us, but man, we got to rewrite history and do things the right way. And shout out to my brethren, my people, my KOT fam who was talking about this behind the scenes. Man, are we lucky that Donovan Mitchell did not have the balls to do what Mikal Bridges did. Because if Donovan Mitchell would have forced his way to New York like we wanted it to, we would not have seen Jalen Brunson become that 1A. We would not have seen the Nova Knicks come here and start to gel and start to take teams down. And we would not have Mikal Bridges coming here now. That one decision for Donovan Mitchell to go to the Cavs kind of caused a domino effect to what we've seen today. Now we have more of our pieces together, even though shots we move some kids, to actually make a championship push and keep a lot of our depth. And it was hard to see our guys like RJ and OB and Grimes go. But man, having guys like Mikal, DiVincenzo, OG, take those guys' places, it's making it worth it. It's making it completely worth it. So I'm enjoying this, man. I'm shocked. Leon Rose, Executive of the Year already. Long are the days of us waiting until halfway down the summer for a move to happen. Knicks moved quickly and swiftly and got a deal done. And they still have 2 first-round picks for this year's draft. So we'll see what happens there. Maybe we'll draft somebody there. Who knows? Maybe we'll pick up a center. Maybe we'll pick up a wing, or maybe we'll move some picks for another player. I know Fritz said he felt like we were going to get like a backup point guard, but we will see what's going to happen. Gregory Lee thinks we're trading Mitch. We'll see. We will see. We will see. I do not think it's for trading Mitch. Here's the thing. Shout out to Gregory Lee who thinks we're trading Mitch. The New York Knicks operate very specifically. They have numbers in their head that they allocate to each player. So for me, if Hartenstein is given an offer he can't refuse, Hartenstein will walk for sure, just like Emmanuel Quickley, who left. And that means Mitchell Robinson will most definitely stay. If Hartenstein is gone, Mitchell Robinson is not going anywhere, especially because his contract is descending. And especially because we kind of have our semi all-star on the team already. So that to me, that solidifies Mitch's future as a Knick. That's how I see it anyway. Now, at the same time, we're gonna have to start looking at different centers. But For sure, that to me starts to solidify Mitch's future. And I think we're also going to have to look at Sims. And hopefully the Sims hopefully what we'll see this year is what we saw last year from Deuce. The year before, Deuce showed some promise, but last year is when Deuce really started to come into his own, and he took the leap. Sims is a hard worker. He's been often injured. He had a shaky playoffs and kind of a shaky year after having like one solid year for the Knicks. He's kind of been up and down. But if I'm Sims, I'm licking my chops. This is my opportunity to make the next step. You might have a lot of opportunity to play. So we'll see what happens. But hopefully Sims will be able to take the leap like Deuce McBride did last year and help us fortify that center position. In the meantime, we're going to have to actually start to look for other centers to take Hartenstein's place if he is likely to go. Now, Hartenstein has had a history of taking pay cuts to stay with the team. But this is when he was on the Clippers. He didn't have teams going after him like teams are going to go after him right now. The Knicks can really offer him that much as other teams can. OKC has like $30 million in cap space. They can probably throw 20 million or more at him. The most we can offer him is 17.5. So we are at a severe disadvantage of re-signing Hartenstein. But if Hartenstein wants to come back, I hope, and he still has that familiarity thing going with him where I just want to play with family, I will definitely welcome him home. And the Knicks will definitely at this point offer him the max they can. But it's looking rough for us. It's definitely looking rough for us on that regard. But as long as you can find a center who can give us a little bit of something, I think we can survive, especially if Mitch comes back healthy. I feel like Mitch has to come back healthy. He has to come back healthy, and he has to be the Mitch that we saw last season where he was a defensive player of the year candidate. All right. Yo, salute to President the Boss, Gregory Lee, Michael Moss, Space Ghost, De Ross. Shout out to Sage the Knicks Path. Shout out to Keith Watkins. Shout out to James Sumler, MM Morris. Everybody else is rocking with the KOT show, man. If you like that show, hit that like and subscribe button. I can't believe it, man. Crazy. The Knicks have completed the Infinity Stones. We've got the Noble Boys together, and the Knicks and Mikal Bridges are reunited, and it feels so good. And it smells like a championship. If I'm the Celtics, I got to be shook now. If I'm the Celtics, I got to be shook now. We got the wings to actually go after them. Especially if OG Anunoby comes back, which I believe he will. We're looking good, guys. We're definitely looking good. All right. I see somebody talking about Andre Drummond. Interestingly enough, Mike Scotto, he wrote an article the other day talking about center possibilities, and Drummond was on the list. He seemed to be lower on the list because of the way that Mike wrote it. And I'll read what he wrote. He said, should the Knicks lose Hartenstein in free agency to a higher offer elsewhere, several centers are on their radar as a potential replacement, including free agents Goga Badatsi, Valanciunas, Nick Richards, and Andre Drummond. So those are absolutely the names that I'll keep an eye out for. So Goga, my guy from the Magic, he's a decent player. He's going to give you that defense. He's going to give you the rebounding. He does not have a lot of size, but he's going to give you something on defense. And actually, when the Knicks played him last year, he played him pretty tough. He played us pretty tough. So I would not be surprised if we did go after him. Although offensively, he's extremely limited. Defensively, there is something there. For me, I always kind of wanted Valanciunas. I think offensively he can give us more. He's a guy who can stretch the floor. Gives you around 35% from three. Not a huge three-point shooter, but he kind of just gives us a different look. Gives us a little bit more than what we have already. So I wouldn't mind a Valanciunas here, although I do feel like the rim protection is not at the premium like it was for Hartenstein. And you already know how Tom Thibodeau goes down. He likes to have his rim protectors. But I'll be interested to see if the front office actually goes after him and try to provide some spacing. Because I can just imagine, I can imagine having Randall and Mikal and OG and Jalen Brunson and having the lanes wide open. I still feel like the best offensive Jalen Brunson was the one that was in Dallas. When he had so much room to roam, he was just able to get to the hoop. It would be nice to have that kind of option. Even though he might not be that knockdown defender for real, maybe he can be something more for us. And we already saw what Indiana did to us, for sure. So that can also be an option. Also, I actually have some stats here. Let's see. But Valanciunas, offensive, let's see. What's his shooting accuracy? See, 31%, still kind of low. Actually had a down year this year when it came to shooting. And I wonder if it has anything to do with the injuries and the flow the injuries bugs that's been happening with the New Orleans Pelicans. He's actually had better years than this year. This year is actually a down year. But still, he gives us some versatility still in the mid-range, though. And, of course, he's a post guy, too, as well. He's going to give you something in the post. And he's a big guy. He's a big guy, so he can stand up in the post. Not sure how much he's going to stand up against guys like Embiid. To me, that's still a job for Mitch, and Mitch will have to be healthy. But that's what we're looking for when it comes to him. Now, interestingly enough, another name mentioned in that article was Richards, which is the center from Charlotte. And I haven't seen him play a lot. I just know there was a game that he played against us where he actually did okay. I feel like he was pretty decent in the mid-range, and I could look up his stats real quick. But defensively, I feel like he fits more of Tom Thibodeau's speed. And I know a lot of people like Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond is a beast defensively. Rebounding will be a premium for us. He gets every rebound there is. And he can post up as well. I guess the tricky part with Drummond is he does not give you anything else defensively. You know what I mean? He does not give you anything else defensively. It's all rebounds and posting. And for us and for Tom Thibodeau, that's what we're going to need from our centers. So, although I do like Andre Drummond, I guess I wouldn't mind him, but he's not necessarily my first choice either. I also wouldn't mind considering what's the backup center for the Indiana Pacers? The guy with the glasses. I forgot his name. But he shoots threes well. He shoots threes pretty well. He's kind of young. He plays defense. I think that's kind of a guy. He's an underrated guy who can grow in his role and kind of be that Hartenstein is for us. When I say Hartenstein, I mean that young guy who kind of flourishes. We kind of dust him off, put a spotlight on him, and all of a sudden he's flourishing under Tibbs because Tibbs can teach these guys the fundamental and get these centers to the next level. Jalen Smith. Thank you, Prezi. Jalen Smith. I think Jalen Smith could be a guy, a nice pickup where I feel like Thibodeau could get to him and dust him off and show him how to really play some defense. I think that might be a nice pickup if we can get him. Yeah, and shout out to Fritz who gives us a nice nice tidbit. He says Nick Richards, that's the guy I was talking about on Charlotte, is Kenny Payne's favorite. Kenny Payne, our big man whisperer, who was an assistant coach here. So if Kenny Payne co-signs him, you already know there's some talent there. There's some talent there. All right, but look to the chat, man. All in all, I'm just excited. I'm just excited. When is the last time the Knicks had just pulled off W after W trades back to back like this? To go from getting OG Anunoby and then trading for Mikal Bridges just a season later, to me is just completely insane. We've gone through all these albatross trades, from getting Evan Fournier. You know what I'm saying? From we almost tried to trade for my dude on the Hornets who went to the OKC. Like we have not. The trade market for me over the last few years has been the Knicks' Achilles heel. We drafted okay, but the trade market for us has been the Knicks' Achilles heel until Leon Roses came here. And now it seems like everything has just turned around. I can't believe that the Knicks for consecutive years have gotten top targets that other teams want. And Leon Rose, you the Don, you got to be commended for that, man. You got to be commended for that. Gregory Lee says the draft is tomorrow and Zach Edey could be picked up. He might be gone, but I don't know. With this draft, you never know. With the draft, you never know. Sometimes people are projected to be 15th or 17th and they fall to 20th. You just never know. We'll see. But Zach Edey will definitely be a nice pickup for the New York Knicks. If they really feel like there's a huge threat or a huge chance that Hartenstein can move on, I can definitely see the Knicks trying to pick up a big man in the draft tomorrow. So definitely got to keep an eye on that. Nicky X says Miami will move up in 15 and grab Eddie. I can see that. They've been missing a big man for a long time to pair next to Bam. So I can definitely see that. Whew. All right. That's the show, man. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Shout out to my guys in the Nick of Time show. I wish you can be here to celebrate with us and cheer and bust guns, because I just can't believe it, man. This is a championship team. I can't believe Leon Rose really traded for a championship team. All you guys who's waiting for the big move, this is the big move. And this move kills the Paul George stuff. This move kills all the big fish stuff. And to be honest with you, if we actually want to make another move, we can actually flip Mikal Bridges for somebody else if we truly wanted to. But to me, I don't think that's going to happen. To me, this is a move that can really set us up for multiple championships for years to come. If you have guys like Jalen Brunson, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, the Nova Boys, and then you got Donte DiVincenzo on a cheap contract for years to come. Having all those guys under contract for years extends our run for years, man. So great pickup by Leon Rose. Woj bomb in the middle of the night. Well worth it. All the beat writers who thought they had to be on a Paul George trade. It's interesting, man. It's interesting the things that leak and the things that don't leak. It just have, even the experts don't know sometimes. Even the experts don't know. All right. But that is the show. Thank you guys for watching. Hit that like and subscribe if you feel it. And we'll be back talking more Knicks basketball when more news breaks. All right. Shout out to Rodney, man. Shout out to my guy Rodney in the chat. Shout out to Cheese Soul Cakes in the chat as well. All right. That's the show. Thank you guys for watching. As you can see, you can follow us at the KOT Show on Twitter. the Knick of Time Show on Instagram and the Knick of Time Show on Facebook as well. All right. Oh, you know what? And I'm gonna end this show with
shout out to Worldwide West. Everywhere we go, we leave a worldwide mess.
a shout out to Worldwide West, of course, because he's messing things up for Brooklyn. And a big bruh for Brooklyn. As big of a win as it is for the New York Knicks, I would love to see the faces of every Knick fan. I'm sorry. I would love to see the faces of every Nets fan today, because they're all on suicide watch right now. I'm not gonna hold you. They all pissed and depressed. And I know there's not many fans. There's only like 5 or 6 of those guys. And 5 of those guys are actually on the Nets team, because apparently Mikal Bridges was on the team and he wasn't even a fan of the Nets. Bruh. But Nets fans right now are going through it. Woo! Having their guy, their pride possession, go across the pond and have to put on a New York Knicks jersey. It must suck to be them. It must suck to be them. Woo! So I want all you guys, if you know a Nets fan, because I definitely know one, and he goes at work. I want all you guys to find the closest Nets fan and laugh in their face, because after all the talk of the Kyrie and the KD and the James Harden, and they were the king of New York, and they was rubbing in our faces that they was about to get a championship. Wow, things can change quickly. Things can change so fast. So shout out to Nets fans, all 3 of y'all. All right, that's the show. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. Peace.
New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.